Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Halloween is less than 2 weeks away, and while there are always precautions to take when it comes to trick-or-treating, again this year, COVID is on the list of concerns. Big Fox's Matt Kleindienst spoke with health officials about how to balance safety with fun.
Good evening, Jennifer. Trick-or-treaters will be knocking on doors throughout the area in the next couple of weeks, and residents are being asked to take some precautions before handing out candy.
I think the trick-or-treating Halloween events can be safely held this year.
Southern Tier families are cleared to go trick-or-treating in a few weeks. Steuben County Health Director Darlene Smith says trick-or-treating is a low-risk activity. However, residents are asked to take some precautions, such as handing out candy outdoors.
If possible, if homeowners can kind of give their candy outdoors on their porch rather than invite the trick-or-treaters into their house.
Residents who want to limit their interaction with trick-or-treaters can also leave their candy out on their front porch.
Keep a bowl outside, or even better yet, if just kind of line up, the candy on a table.
Kids are also asked to wear masks while they're out trick-or-treating. Smith emphasizes that costume masks don't act as a substitute for a regular mask.
Most of those have holes for the nose so that the kids can breathe. So if that's what their costume mask is like, then they really should wear a mask that they would wear to school underneath.
Corning is holding a drive-through trick-or-treating event on October 29th. Matt Kleindienst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
Think about your kids or the students you know. Maybe they're in elementary school, maybe they're in college. How has the pandemic affected them? Experts say COVID-19 has taken a toll on students nationwide, academically and mentally. But as Britt Conway reports, there are some new plans and ideas in the works to help them get back on track.
Our students are in need right now.
In need of mental health support. Doctors say kids were facing a mental health crisis before the pandemic, but now it's reached a critical point. Consider these stats from last year. A 24% increase in ER visits related to mental health for kids 5 to 11, and a 31% increase for kids 12 to 17. And 14% of parents reported increased behavior problems. The White House just released a plan to address students' mental health, honing in on 7 challenges to providing mental health support with a recommendation for each. Congress authorized more than $190 billion to help schools during the pandemic, and some of that money could be spent on mental health services.
As we reopen our schools, we must reimagine to make sure that social emotional well-being is a part of the programming, and that we provide our educators with training on how to best support our students.
Many experts say part of that means making sure in-person learning is happening. Some schools are trying out a test-to-stay program. Kids who have been exposed to COVID-19 but show no symptoms get tested instead of being quarantined. If it's negative, they can go to school. If it's positive, they're sent home.
This is an example of what we want to see. We want to see an evolution of strategies, and we want to make sure that we're providing the best opportunities for our students to learn. They've suffered a lot.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
A viral video has caused an internal investigation at the NYPD. It shows an unmasked officer pushing a masked commuter out of a subway station. Face coverings are required in the public transit system citywide, but the commuter in the video says when he asked an officer to put on a mask, things quickly escalated. Allie Bauman reports.
Cell phone video taken Tuesday morning shows an unmasked NYPD officer pushing a masked commuter out of the 8th Street subway station and closing the emergency exit door. As the cop walks away, he says,
"Is it appropriate for officers to physically assault someone and throw them out of a station for asking them to follow the law? I would say no."
Andy Gilbert tells us he got off the W train around 8 a.m. and saw 2 unmasked police officers on the platform, a sight he says is common on his commute.
Just take my phone out and I'll politely ask them hey, can you just, follow the rules like everyone else and wear a mask? The male officer there basically, was playing dumb and pretending he couldn't hear what I said. He was saying, "Oh, I can't hear you with your mask on."
Gilbert says he continued asking them from a distance to cover up.
He grabbed me by the collar and just started shoving me out of the station.
Because we don't see what happened before that video,
Were you doing anything in any way to justify them pushing you like that? Were you threatening them? Were you getting in their face? Anything like that?
No, I didn't touch them or get near them.
Last month, the MTA began issuing $50 fines to anyone in the subway system without a face covering.
Openly flouting the law just sort of, it breeds disrespect for the law.
At the start of this month, 68% of the NYPD's workforce was vaccinated, compared to 76% of adult New Yorkers overall. Back in August, the NYPD issued a department-wide memo reading in part all members, regardless of COVID-19 vaccination status, must wear a face covering when interacting with members of the public and while present in public transit.
The police commissioner said he was going to address this. And obviously, Commissioner Shea has not addressed this fully.
Some politicians have also weighed in on the video. State Senator Brad Hoylman tweeting, "For the last 2 years, we've seen NYPD officers act as if they are above the law and laws of science by refusing to wear masks on the subway." An MTA spokesman told us it's up to the NYPD how to address allegations that its officers have violated rules.
It's a clear sign to me that they don't respect the rules. They think they're above the rules.
Police are asking residents' help to find a missing teen. They say 17-year-old Frankie Andrews ran away from her home near Newark Valley on October 8th. Officers say she might be trying to get to Virginia. Frankie was last seen wearing a dark gray tie-dye hoodie with black leggings. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is asked to call the Tioga County Sheriff's Office. Tops Markets is joining in National Drug Take-Back Day on Saturday. Residents will be able to safely dispose of unwanted or expired prescriptions at the grocery store chain's pharmacy. Tops says the event not only protects the environment, but also saves lives. A list of Tops pharmacies can be found on the store's website. The National Guard could step in to help with the supply chain crisis. Business groups are pressuring the White House to help find a solution to address the ongoing bottleneck issues. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says he's not ruling out the possibility of either easing tariffs or using the National Guard to help unload cargo. The supply chain mess has caused delayed shipments, rising costs of goods, and left empty shelves at stores across the nation. New numbers from U.S. Customs and Border Protection reveal migrant arrests have skyrocketed over the past year. Yet the White House is defending its efforts handling the surge. Griff Jenkins is in Washington with the latest.
U.S. authorities detained more than 1.7 million migrants along the southwest border this past fiscal year. That's according to new numbers obtained by the Washington Post, showing a spike in border arrests now at their highest level on record.
On average, in any given month, it's 3 times the amount that we have seen in previous years. And I think that's just catastrophic at the end of the day.
The increase in arrests comes as the White House faces mounting criticism for transporting thousands of migrants from the border on overnight flights.
Here we are talking about early flights, earlier than you might like to take a flight.
They're flying these migrants across the country in the dead of night is because they don't want to reveal the consequences of their open borders policy.
Meantime, the president's nominee to head Customs and Border Protection, Chris Magnus, faced a grilling in the Senate Tuesday. While he told lawmakers the surge is a significant challenge, Magnus stopped short of calling the situation a crisis.
Does it really matter whether we call it a major challenge, a crisis, a big problem?
Despite Republican pushback, Magnus is expected to be confirmed. In an equally divided Senate, the vice president can cast the tie-breaking vote. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Even though medical and recreational marijuana are now legal in a growing number of states, officials out west are becoming overwhelmed by the amount of illegal farming operations popping up. Kevin Cork has more on why these large operations are proving dangerous.
Illegal marijuana farms in several western states are growing out of control. Earlier this month, officials in Oregon raided this large facility in Washington County, taking more than 5,000 plants and hundreds of pounds of dried marijuana, totaling close to $7 million. Situations like this are getting so bad in Jackson County, Oregon, that local officials there are asking the governor, Kate Brown, to send in the state's National Guard to assist in the raids. Illegal growing operations are also on the rise in California.
1,205 known illegal cultivations, and my best estimate is probably at least another 1,000 that we're not aware of yet.
Officials say many of these facilities use stolen water and electricity, rigging up makeshift wire systems to power their farms that can lead to wildfires, and community members say they're on edge.
They walk around with guns to intimidate the local folks.
It's actually legal for anyone 21 years old and up to possess and even use marijuana in Oregon and in California. People are also allowed to own plants, but only up to 4 in Oregon and 6 in California. Growing more without proper permits can lead to fines totaling around $500. But law enforcement officials say these small fines, frankly, are just pocket change for those massive illegal farms that, in some cases, produce millions of dollars worth of product each and every year. Some counties in California are now seeking legal reform to fine people per plant instead. I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
Still ahead tonight, parents and teachers at a Texas high school are voicing their opinions after a school official's controversial comments about the Holocaust.
I hope that you will consider not just a reprimand, but firing that administrator who spoke like that, because she does know better.
What the administrator said and how it applies to a newly passed state law limiting the way race-related issues are discussed in schools.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Hello everybody, it's Adam Bowles with your weather, brought to you in part by William Attar. Kim has a night off for this evening. Here's a 24-hour difference. Starting off above average, very warm and drier for today, but as you do notice rain chances in the green coming in from the west. Starting off drier, but here's the headlines for the next few days for weather. Partly sunny for today, and then showers arrive late Thursday into also Friday too. So looking pretty wet by late Thursday into early Friday. Getting much cooler for your Friday. I am tracking a big cold front on the way. By Friday, we're starting off in the 70s today, and then we're knocking back down to the 50s for Friday. So pack that rain gear and also that heavy jacket as well and coat. And then by this weekend, getting much drier, but still pretty cool for this weekend with the temperatures back into the 50s as well. Here's a forecast map. You see a warm surge coming in from the south for today and tonight. And then behind that cold front, rain chances increase late Thursday into Friday too. Behind that cold front, much cooler air starting Friday, heading into the weekend as well. But let's check out future radar for a start. By Thursday, we're looking pretty good for a start. Midnight heading into early Thursday morning, we're looking pretty nice and dry for a start, and then that cold front moves through. By late Thursday, around 5, 6 scattered showers, also a few thunderstorms are possible, non-severe, but then rain chances definitely increase as we head into Friday afternoon, and looking pretty wet, and then clearing out by this weekend, looking very nice, just cool and fall-like, especially as we head into this weekend too. For tonight's normal low is 39, nowhere near that ahead of that cold front. Definitely mild and above average for tonight, but still on the cool side. Scattered showers possible back into the 40s and 50s all across the board. For Thursday's planner, Thursday afternoon and evening, watch out for the scattered shower and thunderstorm chance. The normal high is 59, definitely above average, very warm, 70s and 60s. May not even need a jacket, but definitely umbrella as we head into the afternoon hours. So for Thursday afternoon, increasing cloud cover, showers late, 70 for a high, back into the 50s overnight. And then by Friday, we're back to average, very cold or very chilly, back into the 50s, cloudy with some showers, lows in the 40s and 30s, back to average, but fall-like. 54 cloudy on Saturday, more sunshine by Sunday, and then also more rain chances as we head into the early part of next week. Still pretty average for this time of year.
Nearly 1 in 8 adults in the U.S. has hearing loss. A new landmark FDA proposal is aimed at improving access to hearing aid technology for millions of Americans, but some have concerns. Mandy Gaither has the details in today's Health Minute.
For the first time ever, millions of Americans with hearing loss could get an FDA-approved hearing aid over the counter without seeing a doctor or audiologist.
As a physician, I have mixed feelings about this process.
Under the new proposed FDA rule, hearing aids would be sold over the counter in more traditional retail stores or online, likely making them less expensive and more available to those who need them. While that's a big plus, there are concerns, according to Dr. Aaron Moberly, an otolaryngologist at Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center.
Are we going to be missing sources of hearing loss that are otherwise treatable, or maybe red flags for something additional going on beyond just the hearing loss?
You're looking at products that you're going to stick something in your ear, that a do-it-yourself approach.
Starkey Hearing CEO Brandon Sawalich notes some other concerns.
Going to a local consumer electronic or pharmacy and picking up a product is not the ideal approach for better hearing, because you don't know how loud it's going to be, the fit, the comfort.
Sawalich expects the proposed rule to be finalized in late spring or early summer. The public will be able to comment on the proposed language over the next 90 days. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
In North Texas, parents and teachers spoke out at the first school board meeting since an administrator made controversial remarks about the Holocaust. The administrator told teachers if they have books about the Holocaust in their classroom libraries, they also need to have books with opposing views of it. At Monday's meeting, some spoke in her defense, while others said there's no excuse for her comments. Erin Jones has more.
I'm Jewish, my children are Jewish, so my instant reaction was to be upset.
But after further review, Kara Serber, a mom of 2 students, says she'll give the benefit of the doubt to the district administrator, who was recently recorded saying this.
As you go through, just try to remember the concepts of 3979 and make sure that if you have a book on the Holocaust, that you have one that has opposing.
House Bill 3979, which she references, is a newly passed state law limiting how race-related issues are discussed in schools.
I think that she is the mouthpiece for the administration right now, and that she was caught off guard and it wasn't fair to her.
But at Monday's school board meeting, not everyone agreed.
I hope that you will consider not just a reprimand, but firing that administrator who spoke like that, because she does know better.
There are no two sides to genocide.
While we cannot rewind these past couple of weeks, we can provide some clarity.
School board president Michelle Moore says there's been a lot of confusion about the law, and everyone must work together to move the district forward. Superintendent Lane Ledbetter has issued an apology, saying the district recognizes that there are not two sides of the Holocaust. Moore also addressing reports that the board recently voted to reprimand a teacher for having the bestseller How to Be an Anti-Racist in her class.
The grievance was regarding a personnel matter and not about a book.
She did not go into further detail. The board then headed behind closed doors to discuss if any additional action should be proposed.
Now for an undeniably positive and inspiring story out of Wyoming, where a 94-year-old woman is spreading kindness across her community and the nation. Haley Rader reports.
And I send them in my Christmas greeting.
If you've been around Casper, Wyoming, you've probably noticed 94-year-old Selma Schneider. For years now, Schneider's been proudly giving out free hug coupons to spread kindness.
I thought it would be nice to have the hug coupons to hand out to others. And it started as a very small venture, but it's grown tremendously through the years.
Schneider has not only made an impact locally, but also around the country. She started handing out coupons on airplanes, at treatment centers, and even the grocery store to brighten others' days.
When I was checking out one day, I gave a gentleman one, and he said, well, could I have 5 more? My grandchildren are coming to visit me.
Schneider says seeing how this small act of kindness can have a huge impact on people is inspiring. She says it warms her heart to know she's helping others in this way.
You do it because you love others. You want to help, whether it's your neighbor or who it is. And some people have said when they received a coupon, that's just what I needed today.
Schneider uses her creativity to also write poems and verse. She says sharing with the world is a great way to remind one another that life is short and there's so much to be thankful for.
You can't keep up with the changes, but you must give thanks for what you do have. So that, because there's many things that if you think about it, that you can be thankful for, that maybe you don't even think about at the moment.
Amateur astronomers will have a lot to see in the night sky this week. Starting tonight, NASA says the next full moon, called the Hunter's Moon, will be visible. The Hunter's Moon usually appears after the harvest moon, which is autumn's first full moon. It can usually be seen in October or November. According to the Farmer's Almanac, the Hunter's Moon is a sign it's time to hunt in preparation for the winter ahead. The moon will appear full for around 3 days. A fast food worker from Virginia can now actually enter the drive-thru. The community, which has long appreciated Lisa Bateman's service with a smile, joined forces and got her a new set of wheels. Brendan King reports.
You go through the drive-thru at any given time, and she's just as happy as can be.
Since 1987, customers at the Burger King in Tappahannock can expect employee Lisa Bateman to greet them with a hello and a smile.
She knows my order. As soon as she hears my voice, she's like, "You want the usual?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
But no matter the weather, rain, snow, cold, or heat, the 60-year-old walks nearly a mile to work.
You know, I see her walking all the time, and I figured it'd be nice to do something like this for somebody in our community.
What started as a Facebook post turned into a community-wide fundraiser to buy her a new car.
We raised a little over $4,200 for her.
So Monday afternoon, they waited until Lisa ended her shift.
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. So we, as the town of Tappahannock, wanted to show you a little bit of appreciation for your hard work, for always
Her reaction?
Giving us positive energy.
Absolutely priceless.
Oh my God! Oh.
They even gifted her some cash left over from the GoFundMe.
You deserve it.
Oh my God. I really enjoy what I do. You know, when I make them happy, you know I'm happy.
Lisa says she's walked down Tappahannock Boulevard to work for the last 7 years.
I just look at it this way. Just like I told my manager, as long as my little leg's gonna take me, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna work.
A grand gesture in a small town, proving these neighbors look out for one another.
When I come to work tomorrow, I might be to stop shaking by then. Oh my God, I just don't know what to say, but thank you.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. A Canadian food truck is getting creative with social distancing. East Coast Dawn Air in New Brunswick is delivering meals using remote-controlled monster trucks. The pair of vehicles are scale models. The food truck got the idea from a worker who owns a remote-controlled car. They hitched a trailer to the back of it, put the order on the trailer, and sent it to the waiting patrons. East Coast Dawn Air says their unique version of contactless delivery is a big hit with customers, especially the younger ones. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.